Hey everyone, it's me Elna from elnacain.com. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. Let me know if you're here. Um, I'm going to be talking about the biggest mistakes new freelance writers are making, okay? So if you're brand new, you can say hi and you can let me know if you have any questions or not, okay? So I hope everyone is doing good right now. I'm just going to check real quick that I'm live on my page because sometimes that never happens before. So, oh dear. Tell me how you're doing. I hope you can catch this. Excuse me. Let me just move over. Okay. I am live. Yay. That's awesome. Okay. So I thought I can come today. Is a good day. My kids are doing distant learning, so they are easing into the schedule. I am getting some uninterrupted time now for my business, which is great. We're also in the process of moving, so I thought I could slip in live to talk to you guys about the biggest mistakes that I'm seeing from new freelance writers. So if you are new and you are struggling to find clients, to get money, just to get people onto your writer website and stuff, then I'm here to help you. And maybe these things I'm going to share with you today are things that you're doing and you don't realize it. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Hopefully I'm live. Looks like I am, but it looks like I'm frozen. So hopefully that's not the case with you. All right. So let's get to it. Oh, hey. Hi, I'm glad you can make it. Okay, so the first mistake that you might be making is, I have my notes over here on the side, so I'm just looking, is choosing the wrong niche. Now, in my previous live that I did talk about like the one thing you need to be a freelance writer, and that is finding that niche. And it's true in this live that a mistake that you might be making is just picking the wrong niche. So what I mean by that is that you're not looking at the industry on what is booming for this season or this quarter of the year, right? You might be thinking, well, I love my pets, and I love that I did really well in the political classes that I was in. So that's what I want to write about. Well, that may not happen. You may not find clients in those niches. You may have a struggle with that. Hey, David. Yeah, I'm live. Good. You can hear me loud and clear. That's awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So what I mean about like finding the right niches is finding what's booming right now. Now, if you haven't already checked out my guide, I do have a guide on the booming niches. These are the niches that need writers like right now during the pandemic. Okay. So I went and spent the time finding these niches. So it's right here over on elnacain.com. Just type in Google elnacain.com and then a space, booming writing niches, and hopefully you'll get to this page right here. All right. So I list out how many, like 32? 36. I list out 36 niches that need writers. All right. Or that are booming right now. You're finding that they are, people are searching for these topics in those niches. All right. So another thing that you can do is start thinking of tech, right? Right now, everyone is going virtual. They're going digital. They're going to the tech side of things. And so the tech industry is booming, but you can pair tech with a lot of niches. So like education. If you're a teacher and you want to break into freelance writing, then maybe you can break into the ed tech. Is it ed tech or tech? Yeah, ed tech. Angle of education. Or in finance, you can do fintech. All right, so think about that. What can you do? Is there a tech industry in the animal niche or a pet niche? Is it in and even other like hospitality, in travel, things like that? You might find that there's a connection there with tech. And if that's so, then a lot of these services and tools are booming right now. All right, so consider that as, and it's okay. That could be the mistake that you're making. So you need to pivot and try something new. All right, so check out my booming niches guide, and I'll pop it in the comments too, so that you don't have to do the extra step of actually going into Google and searching for it. All right. All right. If you guys have any questions, just pop them in and let me know. The second mistake you might be making is failing to optimize your website. All right. So hopefully you have a writer website. Let me know if you do. But this is pretty much like your main tool for landing client work. And it's my philosophy of what I teach in my courses. And because this is what I did and I know it works. So you need to have an optimized writer website. And what does optimize mean? It means that every word on your page, every graphic on your page, how your page interlink, how a person going onto your site goes through your site, the journey, all of that is optimized for them to hire you. That's what I mean by having an optimized writer website, right? So, and there are simple things you can do. One simple thing that I can think of on the top of my head is making sure that you have like a button that says, contact me above the fold of the site. So if you're on your phone, when do you scroll up? When are you going to move your mouse to scroll down on the laptop? That's where the fold is, right? You want it before you have to scroll. So it conditions someone to like want to click there. Like they see your message and they're like, oh, contact you. Okay, I'm going to click there, right? So that's what I mean by optimizing your writer website. That will get people to contact you, and hopefully your copy resonates with them. All right. So take a look at your writer website. See if you can glean information from other people's writer website. This is what I did when I first started. I looked at other people's freelance writing websites and why are they getting clients? What is it on their homepage? What are they showing on their portfolio? What are they doing on their contact page? These are the things that I was doing in the beginning. So hopefully that can help you too. All right. So that's the second mistake. The third mistake you might be making is not having a pitching process. All right. So what I mean by that, I'm just looking at my notes. You might be using like a template, which, I'm all for template. I need to save time, but I know that if I keep sending the same template over and over again, I'm not going to get responses. So you do have to personalize each pitch that you sent out, even if parts of it are from a template. So that's what I like to do. I like to pick certain parts to use over and over again, but then I change it up each and every time based on the business that I'm pitching to, right? And so that's what you have to do. Another thing that you might not be doing in your pitching process is failing to follow up, right? That's key. So many of my course students have found success and landed gigs simply by circling back and following up. All right. And I have opened one of my course lessons about that topic. So if you go to my Teachable page, look at the course outline, and you can see one of them is open to review. So you can review that lesson if you want. And I give you the pitch that I use, and I give you all that information. So take a look at that. And then another part of your process that maybe you're not doing is being consistent. You're not doing it every day, or you're not giving yourself like a goal to get to. All right. You might think, well, I pitched 3 times this week and I haven't heard anything back. Well, that's not going to get you results, right? In the beginning, it really is a numbers game. I mean, for me, I pitched probably 50 times or more to get my first gig, right? My job was pitching. So if you haven't landed any work, then your job is to pitch, to find that work. All right. And whatever means possible. It could be with job boards. It could be cold pitching. It could be guest post pitching. There's lots of different ways to get out there and get known as a writer. Hopefully this is resonating with you. If you have any questions, just pop them in. My twins are doing good right now. So they're on a break, but they're quiet. So that's good. All right. Another mistake that you might be making or failing to learn is how to write a blog post. Now, I know there's lots of writers out there that don't do blogging. They don't write blog posts for clients. And that's great. But you got to realize the difference between them and you is that they already knew their niche. They already knew that they wanted to do press releases or media kit writing, or they already knew they wanted to do gift guide writing or white papers or case studies. Like they already knew that, or they found their path that way, right? But for a lot of us that are new and are struggling to sort of find their place in this like freelance writing world right now, need to understand that the biggest type of content online is a blog post. All right. So many businesses benefit from content marketing, and the easiest form of content marketing is producing blog posts. It's simple. Not all, but most of the brands that I've worked with have had a blog. All right. So if you can understand how to write a blog post, then that could be a service that you can offer. And then it opens up the doors to so many different types of businesses out there. You don't have to rely on magazine writing and working with editors anymore. You can now work with content marketers, with the blog owner, things like that, and start writing and making money. All right. So you sort of have to think along that ways, especially if you're writing digitally online, right? All right. So if you need help learning how to write a blog post, I'm sure I have something on here. Let's see, write a blog post. Actually, you know what? My twins' mommy site has some really good content about writing a blog post. And some like writing tips for bloggers. So that might help you. Of course, I can't find it. Let's see. How to write a blog post. Here, my blog post template for creating amazing blog post. Here it is. I'll put it in the comments here. So here I give you, I think, a template. There it is. And then I go through it step by step, all of these parts of a blog post. All right, so take a look at that if you're struggling how to write blog content. It seems here David asks, okay, if perseverance, determination, drive, and focus do not come naturally to you, is there a way to develop them? It doesn't come naturally to me. If you ask my husband, he'll say that I'm not a go-getter. I really am not a go-getter out there. So if I can do it sort of like in the back end, then it's possible. And probably that is why I'm not the best with cold pitching. Now there's a lot of freelance writers that like swear by cold pitching and, you know, you get out there and stuff. But for me, if I can get them coming to me, then that's the easiest for me. And that's what I teach, you know, having your online presence so that they just naturally come to me. It doesn't mean that I don't go out there and pitch. I did that in the beginning, and if I have to, I will do it again. If for some reason I'm not finding client work or clients aren't coming, prospects aren't coming to me. But if you don't have that drive, then you can create that by doing something that you love to do. And if it's writing, then finding that place online. But you sort of do need to have some form of passion to monetize that writing, to want to get paid for your writing, right? If all you want to do is share your message, well, then you can do that beautifully with a personal blog, right? This David asks, digitally, huh? Yes. Love the guide, Elna. Finding work is a bit more difficult because of the pandemic. Yeah, for sure. Thanks. And then Alex says, do you have any advice on getting published on big websites like Forbes and Entrepreneur? Well, I've never gotten on Forbes and I've never gotten on Entrepreneur as a writer. I've been featured by them, not by Forbes, but by Entrepreneur. So I wouldn't be the person to ask that particularly. But I do know for a fact that in order to get into those platforms, you do need to connect with another writer that writes for them. And if you can connect with them by networking, then over time you can ask them, say, I really like your posts on Forbes. Do you know how I can also contribute on Forbes? I'm interested in growing my brand or providing something to Forbes. Who do I contact? And hopefully that person, if you developed a good relationship, will tell you, well, here's the editor that I use, or here's the person to contact. So I did that with another platform. Although they didn't want my specific digital marketing content, I did fill out a form and I went through the whole process. So that would be probably the way to get on these big websites, is by knowing someone who is already writing on those sites. Hopefully that helped you. All right, so we went through choosing the wrong niche, not optimizing your website, not having a pitching process, don't know how to write a blog post, and the final thing is not knowing where to find high quality freelance writing jobs, right? That's sort of like the big, aha moment. Like, I don't know where to find these jobs. I can't find any work in what I'm doing. It's really hard. Beatrice asks, how do you know if my prices are too high, especially if prospects are just replying instead of giving any feedback? If your prices are too high for that client, then those aren't your clients. There are people out there that will pay for your writing. I mean, I know writers that get paid dollars per words for blog writing. I mean, it's very possible. You just have to find those clients. And what you can do is create sort of like an income ladder of like the type of clients. So from like the ones that, like blog clients, they don't pay a lot. They just pay like average. And then you move up to like entrepreneurs, and then you move up to whatever it is. If it's authors or educational institutions, or, you have to sort of magazines, and then you move up until you find that ideal client that will pay your rate. And that will give you a better picture. For me, I slowly grew my rate over time. But I couldn't, what I'm asking for now, definitely I wouldn't have gotten back in the day. So you have to have that balance for sure with your rate. Anyway, the last thing I was going to mention is not knowing where to find high quality clients. And so while job boards is still a valid method, another thing that you can do is you can Google digital marketing agencies in your niche. All right. And so let's say in the first tip that I said is like you have the wrong niche. Well, see if you can find anything here doing this method. So if I type in digital marketing agencies for feminists brands. Now, feminist again is not a high paying niche, I believe, or it's not like well known. It could be high paying. I don't know. But maybe you would find something. Let me go and see. And here you go. Sorry, I'm just looking. So we have some things here. There are some places here. I don't know if they're all digital marketing agencies. Here's a boutique right here, right? So you can start looking on these platforms, on these sites, if you want to write about feminist topics. You can also align your topic with brands that are feminist. So like the Diva Cup and things like that, right? So that's what I mean by when you are struggling to find work, you sort of have to think differently about it. And so you can start pairing your niche with a digital marketing agency to see if maybe you can get hired by that agency. And that is sort of the doorway to getting work. You might be hired as a junior copywriter, learn some copywriting, and then you can mark yourself as a copywriter in the medical field or in the pet industry or in the health and wellness section, right? So there are some advantages to working with an agency if you're struggling to find clients on your own kind of thing. All right, so those are my my tips, I guess, to help you if you're making those mistakes. Thanks for joining me. If you guys have any questions, just pop them in. I will toot around here for a bit. But other than that, I hope you have a great day.